It was supposed to be a normal night, just another sleepover at my best friend Jamie's house. We'd been friends since childhood, and our sleepovers were as routine as anything. We'd order takeout, watch movies, gossip about everything and nothing, and then fall asleep after talking about our dreams and the crazy things we wanted to do in the future. There was nothing unusual about it, nothing to make me suspect that this time would be any different from all the other times we'd hung out. That evening, I arrived at Jamie's place just as the sun was setting. The smell of pizza hit me as I opened the door, and I was greeted with the sight of her sprawled out on the couch in her usual comfortable sweatpants, her feet bare, and a mug of coffee resting on the coffee table. "Hey," she said, grinning up at me. "You're just in time. I've got our usual pizza and popcorn, and of course a marathon of The Bachelor." I laughed, setting my bag down by the door and plopping down on the couch next to her. "Perfect. You know I live for this stuff." We spent the evening talking about everything: work, family, relationships, and the usual complaints about life. As the night wore on, we ate pizza, made fun of the contestants on the show, and laughed until we were both out of breath. It was exactly what I needed after a stressful week at work. Eventually, the television clicked off, and we both stretched out on the couch, preparing to settle in for sleep. It was late, around 2 a.m., and Jamie yawned as she turned to me, her eyes slightly glazed from the combination of exhaustion and wine. "So," she began, her voice low and casual, "I've been thinking about something." I propped myself up on one elbow, giving her my full attention. Jamie had been acting a little strange all evening, but I chopped it up to the wine and the late hour. "What's up?" She hesitated for a moment, playing with the edge of the blanket that covered us. "I don't know how to say this, but I feel like you're the person I need to tell." My heart skipped a beat. Jamie wasn't usually the type to get serious or introspective, especially after a few drinks. This sudden shift in tone made me sit up a little straighter. "Okay," I said slowly, wondering what was coming. "You're kind of freaking me out. What's going on?" Jamie took a deep breath and let it out slowly, like she was preparing herself for something big. "I've been holding this in for a while, but I don't think I can keep it to myself anymore." She paused, looking at me with a mixture of fear and determination in her eyes. "I think I'm in love with you." My stomach dropped. I stared at her, waiting for the punchline, but the expression on her face remained serious, even vulnerable. "Wait, what?" "I know this is probably not what you want to hear," she continued, her voice trembling slightly. "But I've been feeling this way for months, maybe even longer, and it's just been eating at me. Every time we hang out it's like I can't stop thinking about you. I feel like you're the one I'm meant to be with." I sat there stunned, trying to process what she had just said. Jamie. My best friend. The person I confided in. The one I trusted more than anyone else. Was in love with me. The idea didn't make sense. We'd spent years together, but never once had I considered her anything other than a friend. Sure, we'd had our moments. Long hugs, late-night conversations that lasted for hours, silly inside jokes, but never in my wildest dreams had I thought Jamie felt that way about me. I don't know what to say," I stammered, trying to make sense of everything. My head was spinning. This is crazy. Are you sure? I mean, we've been friends forever." "I know," she said quickly, sitting up and turning to face me. "I didn't want to mess things up between us, but it's like I've been lying to myself for so long, pretending that I don't feel this way. And it gets harder every time we hang out, every time I see you." I was silent for a long moment, trying to wrap my mind around what was happening. There was a part of me that felt an overwhelming urge to tell her that I felt the same way, to reach out and kiss her, to make everything make sense. But there was also another part of me, one that was terrified. I had never imagined this, and I wasn't sure if I could handle the weight of her confession. "Jamie, I don't know how I feel about this," I said slowly, my voice shaking. "I mean, we've been friends for so long. I never thought about you like that. And now I don't know what this means for us." She nodded, her expression pained. "I get it. I really do. I couldn't keep pretending anymore." "I don't want to lose you, but I also don't want to keep hiding how I feel." I took a deep breath, feeling overwhelmed. I had always thought that feelings like this, feelings of love or attraction, would come naturally. I never imagined that something so complicated would happen between Jamie and me. My mind was a whirlwind of confusion, guilt, and curiosity. How could I just turn away from what she was saying? But could I ever look at her the same way again? "I think we need to sleep on this," I said quietly, trying to find some clarity. "We both need time to think. We can talk about it tomorrow." Jamie looked at me for a long time, her expression softening. "Yeah, I get it. I didn't mean to spring this on you. I just needed you to know." The rest of the night was spent in silence. We both lay there staring at the ceiling, each of us lost in our own thoughts. My heart was racing, but I was too tired to think clearly. Eventually, exhaustion overtook me, and I fell into a restless sleep, haunted by the weight of Jamie's words. When I woke up the next morning, the sunlight streaming through the blinds made everything feel different. The air in the room felt heavier, as if the entire dynamic between us had shifted overnight. I turned my head slowly, half expecting to see Jamie already awake, but she was still sleeping soundly beside me. The night had been so surreal, and yet here we were, just two friends, in the same bed, both knowing that everything had changed. I couldn't shake the feeling that the ground beneath me had shifted, and I wasn't sure if I was standing on solid footing anymore. I sat up, running my hands through my hair as I tried to make sense of everything. Was this a temporary thing? Had Jamie just gotten caught up in the moment? Or was there something deeper, something more serious behind her confession? Jamie stirred beside me, her eyes blinking open. She stretched, looking over at me with a half smile, but then her expression faltered when she saw the look on my face. "Hey," she said softly. "You okay?" I nodded slowly, but my mind was racing. "I don't know, I paused, not knowing how to continue. "I don't know what to do." Jamie propped herself up on one elbow, her face serious now. "I didn't mean to make things weird between us. I've been carrying this for so long, and I couldn't lie to you anymore. I care about you, and I didn't want to hide it." I took a deep breath. "I know, and I appreciate you being honest with me. But this is a lot to process. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to feel." For a moment, there was silence between us. The room felt thick with uncertainty, but there was also a sense of relief in the air. At least we had talked about it. At least the truth was out. "You don't have to say anything right now," Jamie said, her voice gentle. "Take your time. I just needed you to know." We both sat in silence for a while, the weight of the situation settling around us. I didn't know where things would go from here. But one thing was certain. This was a turning point in our friendship. Whether it was the beginning of something new or the end of something old, I couldn't yet say. But whatever happened, I knew things would never be the same again.